Let's see if you can solve this analogy. GLP-1 will cause equally pervasive second order effects to this CPG space, as AI will trigger regarding business productivity. Maybe, depending on your vantage point, some might consider this opening statement nothing more than hyperbole. But despite our collective ambiguity on the true extent, I believe the skyrocketing popularity of weight loss pharmaceuticals has already tangibly disrupted many aspects of the CPG industry. So let's just rip off the injection site band aid quickly because the problem, aka the obesity epidemic, has reached unprecedented levels. According to the most recent CDC statistics, 41.9% of US adults over the age of 20 would be considered obese. If you are doing the quick napkin math at home, that's more than 100 million people that are considered obese by the US government and candidates for weight loss pharmaceuticals. But before I detail that possible solution further, there's some additional longstanding cultural and socially arbitrary things at play here with weight management. Have you ever wondered why general population surveys about dietary outcomes almost always have weight management near the top of the list in terms of popularity and interest? There are the obvious weight related motivating factors like managing diabetes or cardiovascular disease, but there's also something deeper at play, which has kept Americans extremely interested in weight management for decades. And that's because being thin is now a social ideal and used as a societal distinction from the increasingly obese masses. Social consequences of not achieving those dietary outcomes are perceived to be very problematic, with areas like diet culture, popular fad diets, and social media putting pressure on people to look a certain way. Another core reason why weight management is such a mass appeal dietary outcome is that the modern life constantly messes with our ability to achieve even a fraction of the standard that we set. The harder health, wellness, and body image goals get to achieve, the more it drives growth of weight management products. So it shouldn't be surprising to learn that the United States is by far the world's largest weight management market, accounting for approximately one third of its total sales. Similarly, it shouldn't surprise you to discover that the United States is by far the world's largest weight loss pharmaceuticals market, currently accounting for an estimated 2 out of every $3 spent globally. Moreover, since its 2017 approval as a diabetes treatment, semaglutide, the generic name for Ozempic and its offshoots, has become one of the most popular prescription drugs in the United States. But while their intended purpose was to moderate insulin levels in type 2 diabetes, new users are overwhelmingly adopting these drugs for its notable weight loss side effects. These unmet medical needs are more than enough to build demand, but countless popular celebrities like Oprah Winfrey positively sharing their experience has further fueled its meteoric rise. In fact, marketplace experts now estimate annual weight loss drug sales reaching $150 billion by 2033, up dramatically from last year's forecast of over $100 billion by the early 2030s. Yet, these projections likely don't fully account for the significant user base expansion that will happen as the FDA approves additional use occasions and or more powerful weight loss medicines are developed with far fewer side effects, as there are something like more than 80 experimental obesity drugs that have reached the human testing stage. Now, because I'm a business strategist and not some science nerd, I'm going to mostly keep the conversation centered around the US market leading weight loss drugs that mimic an intestinal hormone called GLP-1, either on their own or in combination with compounds that target a second hormone that stimulates the release of insulin from the pancreas called GIP. Though for simplicity purposes, I'll likely group them together, utilize specific leading drug makers like Novo Nordisk or Eli Lilly, or popular branded drug names like Ozempic or Zepbound. But let's talk about results, because within weight management categorical spending, consumers want outcomes. So while they may vary in degree, products from food, beverage, supplements to over the counter and even pharmaceuticals are simply a means to the end. Unfortunately, decades of overhyped marketing of the magic pill has created a loss in consumer confidence. Though that challenge doesn't seem to be applicable here, as users of Ozempic and similar drugs that followed a diet and exercise program had an average weight loss of 15 to 20% and significant reductions in cardiovascular risk factors. Furthermore, recent surveys show that around 70% of GLP-1 users say the drug was extremely effective or effective at helping them lose weight. So I've laid out the massive problem and a very probable solution, but what about predicted outcomes and second order effects? While it was certainly notable news when in June of 2021, the FDA approved its first drug for chronic weight management in adults with general obesity since 2014, it took about 2 years for chatter to grow across the CPG industry. When I started sharing some early indicators in early 2022 around how the weight loss pharmaceuticals were beginning to impact various aspects of the CPG industry, I got quite a bit of pushback, especially from legacy stakeholders that had seen similar threats before that quickly turned into overhyped garbage. And maybe it's prudent if we start there, because we must not forget that this is still the early innings of these new weight loss pharmaceuticals. While I'm mostly presenting the positive side of market disruption, there is a history of FDA approved drugs that were later rejected after post market surveillance showed public health safety questions. So I don't fault CPG industry stakeholders that are still deploying a mostly wait and see strategic approach. But as prescribing rates for these weight loss drugs continue to grow, CPG industry stakeholders should, at the very least, be collecting pertinent data, updating internal models, and considering strategic adjustments, even before material impacts show up on its financial statements. Then let's cover the other side of predicted outcomes, where the Age of Ozempic does indeed continue reshaping the CPG industry. And we're already seeing CPG companies right now make varying levels of strategic adjustments. Maybe the easiest and most prevalent repositioning move has been to take existing products and shift communications to more effectively reach that consumer cohort, either through marketing or packaging adjustments. Moreover, a great example of an alternate version of this strategic approach would be how Nestle Health Sciences launched a GLP-1 nutrition support platform that helps consumers navigate nutrition while adjusting their weight management on these drugs. Nestle didn't stop there, though, announcing it would soon launch a new line of frozen foods intended for consumers using GLP-1 drugs called Vital Pursuit. While new product development targeted at GLP-1 users is a costly and potentially risky endeavor, recent Coefficient Capital survey results show that 53% of millennial users are extremely interested in tailored CPG offerings. And I could go on by sharing what the Walmart CEO said about grocery revenue impact or how weight loss pharmaceuticals are influencing decisions at every major CPG conglomerate, but it's easiest to think about the Age of Ozempic as being a major catalyst that fundamentally shifts consumer behavior. That's why looking a layer deeper is important, because it's those behavioral patterns that oftentimes lead to informing actions. But I acknowledge that moving to second order effects can quickly complicate my intentions of creating a concise content piece. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to focus only on the potential impacts within the intersecting categories of functional foods, functional beverages, and nutritional supplements. And we can start at the fact that although the weight loss achieved through these pharmaceuticals has been remarkable, concerns about the long-term sustainability of these results persist, as reports indicate that users will likely experience rapid weight gain after discontinuing medications. Additionally, for many users, GLP-1 drugs are not a long-term commitment, but rather a step along the way in their weight management and broader wellness journey. But that naturally sets up three adjacent opportunities for functional CPG companies to market their products as part of the on-ramp or during and off-ramp portions of a continued healthy lifestyle change. Since these weight loss pharmaceuticals are at their core powerful appetite suppressants, all that feeling fuller quicker and eating fewer calories can also cause harmful results, as the proportion of muscle loss is higher than diet and exercise alone, although roughly on par with bariatric surgery. So while many people celebrate weight management success by observing the number on the scale decreasing, making measurable and sustainable progress with goals will require GLP-1 users to better understand what truly matters, decreasing body fat while maintaining or increasing lean mass. The conventional wisdom to protect GLP-1 users against muscle loss is to do resistance training and eat a high protein diet. And while these recommendations are perfectly logical, their effectiveness could be unclear when considering some people might not be able to stomach enough food to get adequate protein. And this is where Nestle CEO Mark Schneider and others have keenly recognized the potential for supplements to bridge the nutritional gap that may arise from reduced food intake. The most obvious nutrient gap beneficiary is the protein space, from ready to mix powders and ready to eat bars or snacks to ready to drink beverages. But don't overlook certain functional ingredients that can help improve body composition, like HMB. In fact, a recent published study found that MyHMB, the branded ingredient from TSI Group, may contribute to increasing muscle mass, even independent of exercise. So while I'd never suggest any functional CPG brand utilizing MyHMB within its products to focus product marketing on inactivity, the quick fix and instant gratification consumer mentality within weight management also isn't going away anytime soon. Similarly, I'd expect meal replacements and green supplements to get an Age of Ozempic demand boost from that consumer cohort looking to conveniently fill nutritional gaps. Furthermore, certain nutritional supplements and functional ingredients can help combat against the side effects of weight loss drugs. And early patterns show that many GLP-1 users are experiencing nausea along with GI discomfort that can range from bloating to constipation. As you can imagine, popularity has grown around products high in gut healthy fiber, digestive enzymes, probiotics, ginger root, and electrolyte powders. Yet, I also need to wisely mention that there will always be a cohort of eligible consumers that avoid weight loss pharmaceuticals for reasons beyond cost or insurance coverage. For those eligible consumers scared of immediate side effects or long-term impacts from weight loss drugs, there are many functional ingredients, from ancient Chinese herbs to probiotics, that can more naturally stimulate and target the same pathways. But I just wanted to end with some quick final thoughts. While I briefly covered the underlying psychological factors involved with prioritizing weight management goals, there's an equally powerful mental and emotional effect that comes from consumers completing transformative weight loss journeys. I mention that because not all market opportunities are best served by additional product innovation. Sometimes attaching platform strategies that provide personalized guidance or community support can make the largest impact. Also, while I provided a lot of positive information regarding nutritional supplements, I'm not going to pretend they can or should replace weight loss pharmaceuticals for people that need them. Obesity and metabolic syndromes are not easy problems to solve, often framed as a failure of individual willpower, but a silver lining of GLP-1 medications is that they've helped reframe obesity as a complex, treatable condition. Oh, and I'm going to leave the next generation weight loss drug development storyline for a future content piece. So if you want to hear my exploration of how pharmaceutical companies are testing combinations that can build muscle while burning fat, let me know in the comments section. Well, I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.